We are Group 5 and we are going to talk about history of Japanese beer. These are our contents. At first, we are going to tell you about the overall history of beer in Japan. You should know if you are a student of this project. And second, we are going to look in history through the breweries. We are going to tell you about 3 breweries. And at last, we are going to tell you about quickly conclusion of modern times beer. Now let's take a look from before Christ 4000. Beer's history has started. The first beer was made by Sumerian, Mesopotamian civilization. At first, they used dry wheat and they made a bread. After that, they split into the pieces, then adding the water and do the fermentation. That's a way of beer, making a beer at first. Same as Egyptian. They using the method of making a bread. Even in the Europe, in the cathedral, they are making a beer for monk as a luxury drink. And beer came to Japan in Edo era. It's about 200 years ago, not far from now. The first record of beer in Japan was in 1724. It was in the book about Netherlands questions and answers, which called Japanese Orlando Mondo. Officials of the shogunate were with the chief of office of a Netherlands merchant. Netherlands merchant brought some beers from his country, and they drank it. There were a reflection of Japanese people who drank the beer in the first time. No taste. It was not about good taste or bad taste, just no taste. Now I'm going to introduce about the first home brewer in Japan. In 1853, Komin Kawamoto made the beer at his house. He was a famous person who invented the camera and match for the first time in Japan. So, he became the first home brewer in Japan. He wanted to prove that Japanese can make anything if we know how to do. At first, he made an oven for making a beer at his house, and he imported some ingredients for beer from overseas. Unfortunately, hops died until they came to Japan, so his fermentation was not successful according to the company who remake his beer these days. Actually, you can taste his beer, the oldest beer. It calls Bakumatsu beer. I'm going to tell you about breweries in Japan. In 1869, the first brewery was made by German brigand in Yokohama. Next year, in 1870, William Copeland made Spring Valley Brewery in Yokohama, and his beer was really famous in Yokohama, and it called beer sake. In 1872, Shozaburo Shibutani made the brewery for the first time as a Japanese brewer. Sadly, it was non-existing. And in 1885, the Japan Brewery and Spring Valley Brewery was merged and became Japan Brewery. And it became Kirin Company after the years.
Next I'm going to talk about history of Kirin Company. There are some history in company, so I picked up some events. Japan Brewery Company established in 1885. This picture is history of beer label design. In 1900, beer industry has changed widely. When the beer taxation law came in, many brewers disappeared because they couldn't endure heavy pressure. At that time, Japan Brewery accepted the proposal about joint business from Dai Nippon Beer. The new company called Kirin Beer Company. This new company brewed the beer used German raw material by German brew engineer. Kirin beer got a good evaluation as German-style beer from market. In 1950, demand on beer increased greatly. Kirin also built up productive ability. For example, they increased a new factory every 1 or 2 years. On the market, they tried to receivable processing device and also increase transport capacity and reduce transport cost. Then, in 1972, Kirin has 12 factory structure and achieved market sharing 60%. In 1987, Super Dry from Asahi was big hit, so Kirin's market sharing decreased, and they should review about the beer project strategy. Then, their company changed the beer name Kirin Lager Beer to create the individual. In 1990, Kirin released Kirin Ichiban Shibori Nava Beer that made by use just only first word. Ichiban Shibori became big hit.
Next, I will tell you about the history of Sapporo Beer, which is one of the popular company in Japan beer industry. In 1872, Thomas Antiso, who was the foreign government agencies to develop management in Hokkaido, found hops in Hokkaido, and he thought these hops would help Hokkaido beer industry in the future, because Hokkaido's climate was good for hops to grow. This is the very first history of Sapporo beer. They tried hard to grow original hops, and finally in 1877 they released Sapporo beer. It followed German-style beer, and it became a great hit. Sapporo beer focused on the materials. They breed original hops and barley and try to make better beer. In 1890, this company released Ebisu beer. The new factory was built in Tokyo, and the place is known as Ebisu, which comes from this company product, Ebisu beer. Ebisu beer's origin of name is the 7 deities of good fortune. Ebisu is god of prosperous business. Ebisu beer followed German-style beer, and it became a great hit. But why Ebisu beer spell Y-E-B-I-S-U? In 1500, Portuguese missionary spelled YE, which Japanese sounds E. Because of it, Japanese thought YE is correct spell for E. For example, Edo spelled YEDO and Japanese yen spelled YEN. Ebisu beer followed this spelling style. Both Sapporo Beer and Ebisu Beer are killer products of Sapporo Beer Company. They released various kinds of beer frequently, and they are developing every year.
I'd like to explain about Asahi Breweries Ltd. This is their building in Tokyo. The left building shows beer jug, and on the top is bubble, and right building shows the Olympic frame. In 1889, Osaka Beer Brewing Company was founded by Komakichi Torii. Then, in 1949, Asahi Breweries Ltd. was established. Well, do you know the origin of the company's name? There are two theories. One of the theories is Asahi was named with the pride of a beer from the land of the rising sun. And other one is Asahi was named with the name of pre-opening office. The office name is Asahi-kan. Asahi has a lot of fast things. In 1958, Asahi beer was launched, and it was the first time canned beer in Japan. And in 1971, Asahi Breweries produced Japan's first aluminum canned beer. Then finally, in 1987, Asahi Super Dry was launched, and it was Japan's first Karakuchi beer, draft beer, with a crisp and refreshing taste. This is the tradition of beer sales. As you can see, in 1987, Asahi's sales of beer was bottom. It was 9.5%. But after in 1987, the sales of beer was getting higher and higher. Then, in 2001, Asahi got top share of beer sales. There are a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is this amazing design. This color is called metallic silver. For example, silver color used car color a lot, so they thought silver is best color. As a result, in 2014, Asahi Super Dry was awarded gold medal at the World Beer Cup. Then, in 2015, Asahi Super Dry was awarded gold medal at the Brussels Beer Challenge. Therefore, Asahi Super Dry was one of the most famous beer in the world. Then, now, they trying to sell new product. This is Asahi Clear Black. It will release on December 5th in 2015. Also, this is nationwide sales, so we can buy it anywhere. Another one is a kind of Asahi Super Dry series. It will release on December 9 in 2017. This is by advance reservation only. Also, this beer is using rare hop. It is Slovenia Bobek. This hop of the production is less than 1% in the world. So, if you are interested, let's try it.
Now, we are going to give you a quickly summarize of the modern times beer. In 1887, many breweries were made in a small way in various places, but it gone. And in 1994, license of making alcohols become ease. So again, many breweries were made in a small way in various places. And it bring local beers boom, but it's gone. And then they came back. Now they were in second boom, as we learned at Sannomiya. They has thousand and thousand flavors now. So young to old, many people want to try their taste in local places. They find new ways to enjoy the beer now. Thank you for your listening. We hope that you will find something from our presentation.